Sagittarius, hello. We've got Valentine here. Say hi, Val. Hi, Val. A very rare sighting. She's come here just for you, Sagittarius. This is your September reading. This is if you are Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or cross-watching for a Sagittarius, or looking for a recipe video and thinking, who is this crazy lady with her cards? Ooh. Well, there's a message here for you. Let's have a looky-see. Oof. So, oh, nice. I'm taking a couple of cards to give us the overall energy for you for September. Got an itchy nose already, and we haven't even started. Okay, Sagittarius, you get some interesting energy as your overall energy cards. You get the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of assessing the harvest. You're looking at how many seeds you've planted and you're thinking to yourself, shall I carry on down this road, or is it a time for a change of direction? You know, you don't always have to keep growing the same crop. I don't want to go too far down this farming analogy because I'm definitely going to run out of everything very quickly. I'm definitely not a grower. But the Seven of Pentacles is a card about, I've achieved this much so far, or I've put this much effort in so far. So if it was in a romantic relationship, you might be thinking to yourself, I've put this much effort in to get here. How am I feeling about that? Is it feeling all right for me? Also, it could be in terms of career or business. Most Sagittarians are a combination of lucky and also you're quite good grafters, actually. I don't think that's said often enough about Sagittarians. That when you're in the right direction with the right amount of freedom and the right creativity behind you, you will graft. If you're not, you eventually will just stop still like this Seven of Pentacles and say to yourself, what's it all about? We have got Mercury retrograde until mid-September. So it's the right time. There's other planets in retrograde too, other outer planets. So the big ticket items and those questions about how did I get here? What am I doing here? Should I still be here? You know, is this where I'm at? Those questions are going to come to mind, and it's the right time for them. Being ruled by Jupiter, you're no stranger to existential questions. Then we have the Knight of Cups. Beautiful energy, and the energy of somebody who is not you for once, I'm getting for a few of you, bringing something to the table. So this is quite glorious. Somebody brings a cup, they're on a horse, they've got a decent outfit together. There's a whole feeling of, yeah, you know, you're meant to be here. This is all right. It can be a love offer from the blue. It could literally, you know, be out of the blue. It could be somebody just asking you out, willy-nilly, as they say. Or it can be somebody leveling up in order to meet your criteria. You have to remember that the Page of Cups comes before the Knight of Cups. So the Page of Cups is somebody who's stumbling around with a smelly fish in a cup, you know. You want my fish? Do you want my fish? It's like a kind of drunk teenager at a wedding, you know. Do you want my fish? But this is when the Page of Cups has matured a little. You know, they've moved on a bit. They've got a horse, they've got a uniform. They've put something better together. So you may be finding that somebody you're romantically involved with takes things up a notch. And if you're single, that somebody asks you out. That's nice. That is decent. What do you think, Val? She thinks yes. She's got beautiful paws. Okay. Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look how Mercury retrograde is going to affect you this month as well. I'm going to do a couple of cards on that because I feel like it's relevant. What do we need to know, please, about, I was going to say Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde and how it's going to affect us. Please. There will be an extended reading, by the way, as there is most months, not every month, but most months. And we always look at the love cards. We look at all the cards from YouTube reading, and we channel messages from your person. We get all the different decks out, and we get a little bit freaky. I quite like it. It's more of a sort of woohoo vibe to it. And we ask, how do they feel about you? So if you want that, ooh, sorry, we'll talk about that in a minute. If you want that, it's the first link in the description box if this reading really resonates with you. Okay, let's have a look at the cards. Well, I quite like this. So, Mercury retrograde and how it's going to resonate with you and what it's going to do for you. King of Wands and the Four of Cups. So you're a fire sign, and I feel like this is kind of you. It's charismatic, which most Sagittarians are. It's a feeling of fire, obviously, and passion. But also there's something you've been a bit emotionally dissatisfied with. Again, Mercury retrograde is the ideal time to review things. You could be reviewing the things that you're passionate about and the things that you used to be passionate about, but quite honestly have dropped off a bit for you. Now, again, this could be in, we'll look at your love life in a minute, but it could be in romantic relationship. It could be in what you're doing for your career or your creative life. You know, your career and your creative life may not be that different from each other, being a Sagittarius anyway. You are looking at short-term gains versus long-term gains. If we look here at the Seven of Pentacles as well, very often with crops, there's not an awful lot of short-term gain. You're not going to run out 3 days after you've planted and go, where is the corn? You know, where is the wheat? And there's some kind of competition here between what you want to do in the moment and what's actually going to serve you long-term in your life. And again, if this is about romantic relationships, it could be that somebody's all right for now, but they're not your forever person, and that is becoming increasingly apparent. But I feel like for you, it's more about taking center stage. The King of Wands, I always describe as the person, the man I would say, at the salsa dance class who is either the teacher or just someone who's mastered it, and he starts, you know, hey, a bit like Joey off Friends, spinning people round and showing off a bit, but kind of entertaining, you know. You can't take your eyes off it and you think, this is good, it livens things up. Now, that's your job as a Sagittarius, to liven things up in some way. You don't have to do it to please other people, you're just doing it for yourself because you've got Jupiter. It's such a great ruler to have. It's fun and it's games. So Four of Cups is kind of the opposite of that. It's like a wrung out dishcloth or a bit of a damp squib, and you're just like, it's a card of apathy. And I don't know, it's not really ringing my bell anymore. Some position that you hold or have either in a group of friends or at work or in the universe in general is not appealing to you so much. It's not as much fun as it was. Or relationships, okay? Maybe it's in relationship, it's not as much fun as it was. We then have the Queen of Wheels, which is the Queen of Pentacles. I'm using the Golden Wheel Tarot. Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's in it for the long game. I mean, I think, is she weaving in this? I'd have to look closely because I'm not exactly competent on the old weaving front. Yes, she is. She's weaving. Now, weaving, again, if you want to weave a whole blanket thing, whatever it is, a shawl or a blanket, it doesn't take a couple of minutes to do that. It takes time. It takes spun out time. Now, as a Saggy, you have Jupiter, so that gives you long range. But you also have this and it's what makes you very successful, childlike ability to be really in the moment and really in the present. And what this is requiring of you this month with Mercury retrograde, which goes direct on the 15th, is for you to be able to see the bigger picture. It might be worth putting up with some, in inverted commas, boring things now, such as weeding or whatever it is you find. I knew I was going to have to talk more about farms, or ploughing, or whatever it is that you find, you know, tedious. When the week comes up, you're glad that you did it. So this could be about your health regime, it could be about your work style, it could be about your relationships, or just your self-care. And you're thinking to yourself, I don't like doing this, I can't be asked to do that, I want to do this in the long run. But your body and the universe is saying, do think of the long game here. We then have the Seven of Wands, which is Mars in Leo. Mars in Leo is saying that there will come a point, we've got a 7 here, we've got a 7 here. There's a sense of being incomplete in a cycle. There'll come a point when you may have to defend what you're after, what you're doing, and how you did it. So at work, this might be that you're not moving as fast as you normally would, that you're not taking decisions as brightly and as quickly as you normally would. It may be that you are, I don't know, they may think that you're lackadaisical. So you may have to say what it is, what your agenda is, what your bottom line is, what your boundaries are around something. And again, for some of you, this might be in relationships. And I feel like you are defending your freedom a little here. So for those of you that are in relationship to somebody, which lucky them, because it's good to be in relationship with a Saggy. Saggies are fun. But Saggies, no matter what, do like their freedom. And also everything's better when you give a Sagittarius freedom. You can't even give them freedom because they're going to get it anyway. You can just add to the freedom they've already got. Leave me a comment if you are a Sagittarius and what are your thoughts and feelings about freedom. I am gathering information all the time about star signs, and the best place to find that is from them themselves. Okay, let's have a look at your love life. Let's do it. Let's do it, Saggy. Let's look at your love life. I also get, must just say before I look at your love life, Seven of Wands. Do you remember in the first sort of 4 months of the year, you were getting a lot of cards about the King of Swords and somebody micromanaging you, picking at you a bit, trying to take you down a little bit. You know, I was getting that vibe, holding you back, being jealous of your success. It happens. You may revisit that with Mercury retrograde, not in a big way. It's just clearing up the shadow of it. But you might just be required to reinstate or repeat, wow, amazing cards. Repeat what your non-negotiables are around this person. Okay? God, it's so annoying with the sun at the moment. I may have to put that back if it comes back out again. Which is weird because your love life, right? We get the sun. Sun card. Yeehaw. We get the sun with the strength card. Get on. 2 majors for your love life. Obviously there's Leo energy. There's also fellow fire sign energy. So Leo, Aries and Sagittarius. But the sun is thriving, it's radiant, it's lucky, it's warmth, it's health and vitality. And strength is you knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing your weaknesses. You know, maybe you are very, very, very adamant about your freedom. And maybe that is perceived as a weakness in relationships. I don't know. It depends what you want. But the Oracle at Delphi said, know thyself, and you do. You are coming out here as magnetic. You're coming out as the one to follow and the one to watch in your relationships, in your love life. quite honestly, the ball's kind of in your court, which is great. Page of Swords. This is more about your love life. I love this for you. And the Three of Cups. Page of Swords, you could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but it's also a card of social media, of internet and being online. And it's also about the beginnings of a conversation. It can be being asked out on a date online, talking to somebody online, speaking to somebody, maybe even like in a forum, or maybe somebody that you've met but you're now WhatsApping each other, you know, that kind of thing. And it's starting to become something. We've got the Three of Cups, again, being sociable, linking up with people. Your love life involves your friendship group or meeting up with people, being social. It's something that Sagittarians are very good at. It can also be with the Three of Cups that somebody's taking something to the next level, especially if previously you were perhaps spending a lot of time talking online with this person, but they're taking it IRL. IRL. That's what the kids call in real life. I like this energy a lot. I love this energy. You have the power with this. You're in the driving seat. I'm going to take a couple more cards on that because it's quite fascinating energy. Oh God, that's gorgeous. And so is that. If you're in the middle of a love connection, you may find that for at least the first 3 weeks of September, it feels like it's kind of not going anywhere. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean it like it's in pause. Because we have the Hanged Man. Gorgeous energy. Hanged Man is a Neptunian card. Neptune, I think, is the Roman for, I can't even remember his name now, the god of the sea. Neptune, but there's also another name that will come to me. So there's something here maybe about water sign people in your life, the energy of water sign people being around you. And of course, you may have Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio in your natal chart. You might have it in Venus, you know, in even like in Mercury, or have it as your rising or your moon sign. And there's a lot of luck here in love with water sign people, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio and fire sign people. But also, when you get the Hanged Man, there is a delicious, tantalizing sense of wanting something to move forward, but at the same time, that thing holding. It's like a holding position. And it would be a good idea for you not to try and push it forward. It's all perfectly all right as it is. You know, things are all happening in the way that they should be happening. And then in this card, you get the Four of Wands. Saggy, this is pretty divine. Literally. This is a portal of love and happiness opening up to you. And this can come through friends, particularly if you're single and you're looking for love. I think you could find it through friendship events or groups like Meetup, or, you know, things that are not designed as particularly a dating app, but things that are designed in real life or online for meeting up with friends with common interests or whatever, but actually there's something there about forming a love relationship. Those of you that are in relationship, yeah, they could be looking to take it to the next level. In the extended reading, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at your love life. I'm going to look at how they feel about you, what's going on with your person. And I'll have a look at that Hanged Man as well, methinks. Let's have a couple of lovely outcome cards for Sagittarius. It's a very nice reading for you though, Saggy. Very nice indeed. Hit the like button if you like it. Whoa. Steady on. Just wait and see for a minute. We've just got the Nine of Swords. Oh, that's nice actually. Okay. This is not a very Sagittarian energy. Let's have a better look at that. This is more of an air sign energy, but the Nine of Swords is waiting for the other shoe to drop. When you've got really good cards like this and a really good reading, and the energy in life is feeling quite lucky. Sometimes, particularly with the first 4 months of this year behind you, you are spending a little time waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay. This is the 4 a.m. card. And I think that, you know, my midheaven is in Sagittarius, and I know that a good friend of mine who's a Scorpio, and they always tell you good things, said to me that most thoughts you have at 4 o'clock in the morning are complete BS, and you should treat them as such. And she was so right. So I would go so far as to say, any superstitions you're feeling, any weird thoughts that you're having, they're probably just literally paranoia. And as a Sagittarius, usually you find it easy to flip and convert to another way of thinking. Even if you just do 3 gratitudes a day, you know, I'm grateful for this when you get up, it will be enough. Because this kind of energy doesn't really stick around with you. Unless you're surrounding yourself with people who supply this kind of energy and anxiety. In which case, you need to distance yourself from those people or their hold over you. But then we get the Ace of Pentacles, which I'm very, very glad to see. The Ace of Pentacles is saying that there is a new beginning. It's slow. Do you remember we said in this reading, this will not be fast. We've got this Queen of Pentacles here as well. And we had the 7 of Pentacles starting out the reading. You will have a desire to fast forward. You will. You'll have a desire because it's exciting to make this happen faster. But I think it's very important, Saggy, that you cool your jets on this one. You'll still get what you want very much. Whether it's love, whether it's career, doesn't matter. But we still have with this Ace of Pentacles, it's a very solid start, but it is a slow start. And that's important, especially for those of you who are dating earth sign people, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, who are in no way like you. You know, there's just, unless you've got loads of earth or some radical earth in your chart, you're far away from the same values as an earth sign person. But here, Sagittarius, this is really important. It's worth the wait. It's worth its weight in gold, and it's worth the wait. Pun intended, okay? This is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. Saggy, I am going to go do your extended reading. We're going to look closer at your love life. We're going to channel like we've never channeled before, Saggy. We're going to get out all the different decks and have some fun. And it's the first link in the description box. I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.